Have you ever wondered if there's a divine force guiding you through life? This question sets us on a journey to understand divine communication, a deeply personal and often subtle experience. Imagine a quiet whisper in the wind, a gentle nudge in your consciousness, a sudden flash of insight. That's divine communication for you. It's not always a booming voice from the heavens. It's often a quiet inner voice that nudges us gently along our path. You see, divine communication isn't about receiving direct, clear-cut messages. It's more about tuning into a frequency of love, wisdom, and guidance that's always available to us. It's about opening up to the possibility that a higher power is always communicating with us in ways we may not always understand or even recognize. So how does this divine communication manifest? Well, it's as diverse as we are. For some, it's an inner knowing, a gut feeling that guides them. For others, it's a dream or vision that offers profound insights. Some may find guidance in the stillness of meditation, while others may find it in the words of scripture or sacred texts. And sometimes divine communication comes in the form of synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to carry a deeper message. But remember, divine communication is not about getting what we want when we want it. It's about aligning ourselves with a higher will, a divine plan that's often beyond our immediate comprehension. It's about learning to trust the process, even when we don't fully understand it. And here's the beautiful part. Divine communication often brings with it a sense of peace, a sense of rightness. It's like a gentle confirmation that we're on the right path, that we're in alignment with something greater than ourselves. So divine communication isn't a one-size-fits-all experience. It's deeply personal and unique to each individual. It's an invitation to tune in, to listen, and to open ourselves up to the divine guidance that's always available to us. Have you ever had a gut feeling or sudden insight that turned out to be right? This is what we often refer to as intuition. This inner knowing, this quiet whisper in the mind, could be more than just a random thought. It might be a form of divine guidance. The universe, or God if you will, has a way of nudging us towards the path meant for us. It's like a cosmic GPS system guiding us through life's crossroads and junctions. But to hear it, we need to pay attention. We need to be quiet, still, and open to these subtle cues that so often go unnoticed. It's easy to dismiss these moments of insight as mere coincidence. But what if they're not? What if they're signposts guiding us towards our true purpose? These subtle cues that we often overlook could be the universe trying to guide us. The hustle and bustle of life often drown out the subtle whispers of divine guidance. In this ceaseless pursuit, we often forget to pause, to embrace the silence, and to listen. This is where the role of stillness and meditation becomes pivotal. Meditation is not just a practice, it's a journey inward. It's a pathway that leads us to the depths of our being, where we can connect with the divine. It's a silent conversation with the universe, a dialogue without words that helps us understand the language of the divine. When we sit in stillness, when we quiet the chatter of our minds, we create a receptive space, a sanctuary for divine communication. It's like tuning into a frequency where the divine whispers become audible. It's a space where we can truly listen, where we can perceive the subtle signs and signals of divine guidance. Quieting the mind allows us to be more attuned to the divine guidance that's always available to us. Ever had a dream or vision that felt extraordinarily meaningful? Dreams and visions have long been considered sacred portals to divine communication. These nocturnal narratives, painted by our subconscious, can often carry significant spiritual messages. Just as a poet uses metaphor and symbolism to convey deeper truths, so too does the divine use the language of dreams and visions to communicate with us. These experiences can provide us with profound insights and guidance, offering glimpses into the spiritual realm or revealing aspects of our lives that need attention. They serve as divine whispers, nudging us towards growth, healing, and understanding. However, interpreting these dreams and visions requires openness and discernment. It's about learning to navigate the symbolic language and uncovering the hidden messages. So next time when you wake up from a vivid dream, instead of brushing it off, consider what it might be trying to tell you. Our dreams may hold profound insights and guidance if we're open to interpreting them. True divine guidance aligns with the principles of love, compassion, and positive transformation. This is a cornerstone of spiritual understanding. It is the idea that the divine, the universe, God, or however you choose to define that higher power, communicates with us in ways that promote growth, healing, and the betterment of ourselves and those around us. When we receive guidance that leads us towards these principles, it's a sign that we're in alignment with a higher wisdom. Whether it's a nudge to forgive someone, an urge to help a stranger, or a sense of peace when making a difficult decision, these are all indications of divine guidance. It's important to remember that this doesn't mean the path will always be easy. Often it's through challenges and adversity that we grow the most. However, if the guidance we receive resonates with love, compassion, and positive transformation, it's a clear sign that we're being led in the right direction. When guidance resonates with these principles, you know you're on the right path. Sacred texts may hold the answers we seek. Scriptures and sacred texts have been a source of guidance and wisdom for centuries. They are not just historical documents, but living, breathing narratives that continue to speak to our hearts today. They are the vessels of divine guidance, filled with lessons, stories, and principles that can illuminate our path. God's voice can be heard in these texts, whispering truths that resonate with our soul. Whether it's the parables of Jesus, the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, or the teachings of the Buddha, these texts carry a divine message meant to guide us. The importance of studying and reflecting on these texts cannot be overstated. It is through this contemplation that we can begin to understand their depth and apply their wisdom in our lives. We find guidance not just in the literal words, but in the spaces between them, in the metaphors and allegories they present. These texts can offer us profound insights into divine wisdom. Prayer isn't just about asking, it's about listening too. It's a conversation, an intimate dialogue with the divine. Imagine if you were talking to a friend and you did all the talking, never giving them a chance to respond. It wouldn't be much of a conversation, would it? The same principle applies to prayer. When we pray, we're not just sending up requests or expressing gratitude. We're also creating space for God to speak into our lives, to guide us, inspire us, and offer wisdom. The key here is to be receptive, to quiet the noise in our minds and tune into that still, small voice within. Remember, divine communication often isn't loud or flashy, it's subtle, gentle, and deeply personal. So, in your next moment of prayer, take a moment to listen. You might be surprised by what you hear. In the silence of prayer, we open ourselves to receive divine guidance. Sometimes meaningful coincidences aren't just coincidences. We often encounter synchronicities in our daily lives. These are seemingly random events that, upon closer inspection, reveal a deeper connection or meaning. These synchronicities or meaningful coincidences can be perceived as a form of divine communication. Suppose you've been pondering a significant decision and suddenly related symbols or themes start appearing in your life. It could be a phrase that keeps popping up in different contexts, or a series of events that seem to guide you towards a specific direction. These aren't merely coincidences. They can be seen as divine nudges, helping steer us on our path. What's important is to stay open and attentive to these signs. They might appear subtle at first, but once we start recognizing them, they become more apparent. So, the next time you notice a pattern or a recurring theme in your life, pause and reflect. Patterns or signs in our lives may carry a deeper spiritual message. When you're on the right path, you'll feel it. Inner peace is more than just a comforting state of mind. It's a spiritual compass, a confirmation that we are in alignment with divine guidance. Consider those moments when a decision or action just feels right. It may not make logical sense, yet an inexplicable calmness descends. This is the tranquility that surpasses understanding, the peace that confirms divine guidance. But how do we attain this inner peace? It starts with quieting the mind, listening to the whispers of the soul, and being open to divine wisdom. It's about trusting even when the road ahead seems uncertain. It's about surrendering even when control seems more comforting. Inner peace is the soul's way of saying you're on the right path. It's the divine's gentle nod of affirmation, a spiritual pat on the back. When we feel this calmness, this assurance, it's an indication that we're in tune with divine guidance. Divine guidance doesn't always come when we want it to. It's not like a takeaway order that arrives at our doorstep at a time we've set. Instead, it's more like the gradual unfurling of a flower, revealing its beauty bit by bit. It's a process that requires patience, surrender, and a deep trust in the divine plan. There may be times when we feel lost, when the guidance we seek seems elusive. But it's in these moments that trust becomes our beacon, illuminating our path forward. It's about understanding that each of us is on a unique spiritual journey, and divine guidance for each of us unfolds at just the right pace, in just the right way. So, while it's natural to seek answers, it's important to remember to breathe, let go, and trust that the answers will come when the time is right. Patience and trust in the divine process can bring a sense of peace and purpose. Connecting with the divine requires an ongoing commitment. It's akin to tending a garden, where the seeds of spirituality are planted. This nurturing process is what we call cultivating a relationship with God. Much like how a garden needs watering, sunlight, and time to thrive, our spiritual connection also requires nurturing elements. These elements include prayer, meditation, and the study of sacred texts. Each one is a conduit that allows us to connect with the divine on a deeper level. Prayer is more than a petition for help or a list of thanksgiving. It's a conversation with God. It's an open dialogue where we not only speak but also listen. In the silence that follows our words, we create a space for divine whispers to be heard. Meditation, on the other hand, is the act of stilling our minds to become more receptive to divine guidance. It's like tuning our internal radio to the frequency of the divine. In the quietness, we can discern the subtle nudges and insights that can guide us on our journey. The study of sacred texts is another way we can deepen our relationship with God. These texts are like maps, providing us with spiritual guidance and wisdom. They offer insights into the nature of the divine and the spiritual principles that can guide our lives. But cultivating a relationship with God is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, an ever-deepening journey of discovery and connection. It's about showing up day after day with an open heart and a willing spirit, ready to engage with the divine. This consistent commitment to spiritual practice is what allows us to grow in our understanding and experience of God. It's what opens us up to divine guidance in our daily lives. It's what helps us to align our actions with the principles of love and kindness, transforming not just our lives, but the world around us. So let's commit to cultivating this relationship. Let's nurture it with our prayers, still our minds through meditation, and seek wisdom in the sacred texts. For in doing so, we open ourselves to a profound connection with the divine. A consistent spiritual practice can help us become more receptive to divine guidance. Divine guidance often leads us towards acts of service and compassion. It's as though a higher power gently nudges us to step outside of our own needs and wants, encouraging us to extend a hand to others. This is more than just doing good deeds. It's about embodying the principles of love and kindness, transforming not only our lives but also the world around us. Imagine a world where each one of us is guided by a deep sense of compassion, where our actions are motivated by love and understanding rather than self-interest. This is the transformative power of divine guidance. It's not just about finding our own path, but also lighting the way for others. And as we serve, as we show compassion, we become vessels for divine love. We become conduits for a higher power to touch the world. When we align our actions with the principles of love and kindness, we become vessels for divine love. The divine often works in mysterious ways. It's an age-old truth that has stood the test of time. This mystery is an integral part of our spiritual journey, a journey that is personal and unique to each one of us. It's a journey that invites us to explore, to question, and to discover. We are encouraged to open ourselves to the mystery of divine communication. This openness is not about seeking to unravel the mystery, but rather to experience it. It's about acknowledging that the divine can speak to us in ways that are beyond our human comprehension. In this vast universe, there are countless ways the divine can communicate with us. It can be a whisper in the silence of our hearts, a synchronicity in our everyday life, an insight during meditation, or a profound dream. By remaining open to the divine mystery, we allow ourselves to receive guidance in unexpected ways.